Hello. Unbox Cats, we're here to continue some more of the Touchstarved game. And so last stop we met Karas. And now I think we're going off to what was it called? The Wet Wick? So yeah, I guess let's continue the game. Ooh, that's loud. All right, let's do this. I find myself staring in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pulled a new cloak over my nose, stepping over the contents of empty chamber pots. I'm glad they're not full chamber pots. You guys know what a chamber pot is, right? If you don't, look it up. I mean, actually don't. You'd rather have an empty one than a full one. That's all I'll say. Spray some Lysol in there. I'm sure I could use it. Something weighs heavily inside one of the cloak's pockets. My coin purse. My throat is like stuck in my throat. My voice is stuck in my throat. My throat is stuck in my throat? What? Every last coin I'd scrapped together for the journey to Eridia is still inside. The purse doesn't even look like it was open. There were so few coins to begin with. They probably weren't worth stealing. I glanced back at the clinic's closed door. Karas didn't take any payment. He didn't even ask for a future favor. But he also said that in Eridia, secrets are power. Does he expect me to give up mine at some point? That's not exactly a comforting thought. Still, no matter why he did it, Karas gave me a second chance and a lead on where I might find help. I'd better get going before he changes his mind. I squeeze out of the alley and into the crowded main street. I wish I knew more about architecture so I could try to guess what kind of architecture this is. The line outside Karas' clinic stretches down the road. Two thin peddlers queue alongside weathered elders. If any place is in desperate need of a free clinic, it's this one. The cobblestones are treacherously rough under my feet. Deep grooves worn between them by regular flooding and decades of hard use. I knew Eridia was a river city, but I didn't expect it to look so eroded. The buildings are tired and dilapidated, all crammed together in narrow streets. And there's something else. A change in the air, like the shift in pressure before a storm. It's subtle, little more than a faint persistent thumbing, but I can't seem to shake the sensation. A child darts by, clutching something greasy wrapped in paper. The smell of fried food drifts over to me, and my stomach gives a faint gurgle. This morning's catch, fried up, hot and fresh. Not too many eyeballs today, ill. I love fried food, but no. No. Ew. Do I even want to know what they're selling? Do they, like, catch the monsters and cook them up? And I mean, I guess if you're low on food sources, then I guess you do what you have to, but ew, no. That sounds disgusting, but I'm starving. So I duck my head under the stall's grubby awning. A large fish leers up at me, its three bulging eyes still visible through a thick layer of crispy batter. The vendor gives me a gap-toothed grin. What's the cheapest thing you got? The vendor points to a metal basket of what looks like long, savory fried dough. Okay, that sounds decent. Normal. I love crispy fried dough. Fresh long lads. 3 copper apiece. Don't burn your mouth. Why? What's with the name Fresh Long Lad? Something about that doesn't sound... I feel like I should be disturbed by the name for some reason, but I don't understand why. But I instinctively know I should be. Maybe I'm thinking too hard on this. I don't know. I take the coins out, counting them gingerly. At this rate, I might not even be able to afford dinner. Reluctantly, I drop the payment on the counter and take my meal. Maybe Leander will buy us something to eat. Two streets later, I pass under the wrought iron archway, adorned with dangling garlands of red and pink lilies. This is a nicer part of town. The buildings in this quarter are a dizzying ride of color. Painted walls and tinted glass everywhere I look. Sheer red and pink curtains flutter in the open doorway. Musical voices call out invitingly. Incense mingles with the pungent scent of flowers, barely covering the salt and musk of warm bodies. Are they implying we're in like a red light district? Yeah, I think, yeah, they are. This must be Eridia's entertainment district. I'm polishing off my food and dusting the crumbs from my hands when I spot a poster. It features the silhouette of a man wearing a single dagger-like earring and the words, "The Adderstone," printed above his head. Isn't that... There's definitely one character here that has a dagger-like earring. I swear I want to say it's, oh gosh, why do... Leander. I was about to call him Leonardo. No, Leander. I think it's Leander who wears the, that type of... I think he has an earring-like dagger. Yes. If Leander is the leader of the Adderstone, then the face printed on the poster is likely his. I followed the line of identical posters around a corner and nearly hit my head on a precariously dangling wooden sign. Looking up, faded orange letters read, "The Wet Wick." Okay, now that that makes sense now. It's in the entertainment district. The name makes sense. The facade of the building looks like it's seen better days, but I hear faint music and laughter coming from inside. Ooh, lively. It's not even midday, yet the wick is packed. A loose collection of Eridians crowd the bar, taking up the tables and gathering in spaces between. They speak amongst each other in hushed voices, their faces drawn and grave. I can sense their apprehension, even without hearing their words. A cursory glance doesn't turn up anything with a dagger-shaped earring, and I'm considering searching the bar when a loud voice carries across the room. No, I'm no prior or curator. I'm not much for paperwork or pencil pushing. And honestly, I don't even think those robes come in my size. I don't think so either. I crane my neck, but the crowd is too dense for me to see the speaker. Gather around. I want to show you all something. There's no time to move out of the way. The audience surges toward the center of the room in a sudden torrent. I'm caught and swept alongside with them. Hey! The clatter and falling of chairs and tables being shoved aside drown out my complaints. I thrash and throw out my elbows as heavy bodies press into mine. Rude. My hip knocks into a table. I grip it, holding on to steady myself, but the crowd has stilled. Yeah, with my size, I think I would have been absolutely trampled by that crowd. Flat as a pancake. A pair of gilded boots stride across the tabletop. I bet the bartender is, not quite happy about that. He has to scrub down the table every time someone goes on it and dances, or does whatever they're doing. I know what I'd like to do with him. If you want nothing but guidelines and practical policies and need this bureaucracy, you know where to go. I drag my eyes upward. Not only up? A man towers on the table in front of me, arms spread as he addresses his rapt audience. I'm not gonna wait for a word from on high. His impassioned words provoke nods and excited whispers. But nothing is as captivating as his brilliant smile. He beams at the crowd around him, a performer on his makeshift stage. And unlike those clerics, I don't need the Abyss's approval to cast a spell or two. As he raises his hands above the audience, the dagger-shaped earring dangling from his left ear catches the lights in a flash of gold. Ooh, that sounds pretty. It seems I've found Leander. These are our streets. We make our own luck here. He snaps, and a flash of pale green light erupts from his hand. Pretty? With a flick of his wrist, Leander conjures a ribbon of glittering lights. So pretty. A delicate flower stem sprouts from between his pinched fingers. One by one, glowing lily petals unfurl. Leander raises the flower with a flourish, and the bar bursts into clapping and cheers. A magic demonstration was the last thing I expected from a place called the Wet Wick. Leander plucks the shimmering flowers out of the air and turns in a slow circle. Now who could use some good luck? Me. Eager onlookers scoot closer to the table, but Leander's cool green eyes slide right over them and lock onto me instead. Ooh, yay, lucky. I love the color green. Love at first sight? Probably not, but I can wish. How about you? My chest grows tight. Suddenly, I'm in the spotlight. I'm taking these, of course I am. Crazy not to. Take them. I reach out and take the flowers from him, all too aware of my trembling fingers. There's no weight to them, only a faint warmth that radiates from the stems. As soon as the lilies leave Leander's hand, they dim and they fade away in a shower of opalescent light. Aww. To my surprise, Leander laughs under his breath. That's the problem with flowers. They don't last long, but they leave an impression, right? He grins at me, and I find myself smiling back. I would too. Leander steps off the table, dropping among the excited crowd with a clink. Alright, show's over. Back to work, everyone. The audience disperses, and Leander heads toward the bar. Now's my chance. I start after him, only to find myself face to face with one of his followers. Does Leander have like a overly possessive fan club? I feel like he does. Where do you think you're going? I need to talk to Leander. Uh-huh. You and half of Lowtown. Leander's busy right now. Adderstone business. Come back tonight. After the moment we shared, surely Leander can spare a word. But the follower crosses her arms, unmoved. I glance over her shoulder, hoping to catch a glimpse of Leander. As though sensing my gaze, he looks up, and for a moment, our eyes lock. Then, Leander turns away to murmur something to the group gathered around him. The follower moves to block my view. You hear me? I'm not looking for trouble. This Dr. Caress said I should find Leander. That's... She's interrupted by a hand resting on her shoulder. Caress sent you? He said you could help me. Leander nods at the woman, and she steps aside wordlessly. Follow me. He leads me to the crowded bar. There's so little room that his broad shoulder presses against mine. I tense, but he doesn't seem to mind at all. Sorry about that. The Adderstone watch out for one another, but they can be a bit overprotective at times. Lesson learned. Leander flashes me a broad grin. You're new to Eridia, aren't you? He says it with a genuine air of curiosity. Do I stick out that much? No, but I'm certain I remember seeing a face as lovely as yours around Lowtown. Wow, what a charmer. I bet he says it to all the girls. My eyes dropped on the polished countertop. I'm not used to flattery, and being this close makes eye contact difficult. As if on cue, the bartender approaches us. What'll it be? Surprise me. And add anything my friend wants to the tab. I'll have what he's having. I'm gonna get. What do you think he has? What do you think he gets? I feel like he's a whiskey kind of guy. I mean, I'm not a big fan of whiskey, but you know, I'll try it for the sake of conversation with this handsome man. I'll have what he's having. While the bartender leaves to fix our drinks, Leander leans his elbow on the counter. His sleeves right up, revealing a long raised scar. I catch myself following its winding path across his forearm. Leander's eyes wander over me in return. When they lock on my bandaged hands, a bitter taste rises in my throat. And it's not the bad booze. Here come the questions. Is there any chance Curtis sent you here for cheap drinks or barely edible appetizers? No. He pushes his hair back from his forehead, sighing when it immediately falls back into place. That's the doctor for you. Always business. I'm not sure he even knows how to relax. The bartender returns with a pair of glasses. I raise mine and give it an experimental sniff. It smells faintly yeasty, like beer, but with an undercurrent I can't quite place. A quick sip confirms my worst suspicions. It's awful. Briny and sour, with distinct hints of pickle flavoring. I think they need a new supplier. Beside me, Leander takes a deep swig from his glass. So, how can I help you? I need to get to the cenobium. As soon as the word cenobium leaves my mouth, the group standing nearby falls silent. Oh, that's not quite... Get a great reaction? I take it this place isn't exactly, the most well-liked? From the weary looks thrown my way, it's clear I've broken some taboo. It had to be the cenobium. Leander pushes away from the counter. Let's continue this conversation outside. I race to follow him. Okay, so thank you for training me for this. Sorry if this was kind of like messy and not that great sounding. There was some issues and I had to re-record audio from like scratch and like match it, and it was just a whole thing. But this is gonna be a part 1 of this recording. So I'll have part 2 out, probably at the same time as this, or soon. And yeah, thank you for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, and follow on the socials, and yeah. Anyway, next time we'll continue. So stay tuned.